28th of December, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Shavua, Vaera.
So do you see it, Yechiel?
Right.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Oh, just 1 second. Okay. Very good. Let's go. We are up to
Got up to the fourth pasuk.
yeah. Yeah. Pasuk Hey.
No, we did we do 4? Maybe I missed yesterday. I forget.
We definitely did 4.
Oh,
I won't say no. I'm sorry, you're correct.
I know I was out one day this week.
Okay, Pasuk Dalet, yes. Okay, who is we up to? I don't remember where we was reading last. No offers?
Well, I can start if you want.
Okay, fine. Okay, Pasuk Dalet.
Okay, so it says, V'gam hakimoti et briti itam latet lahem et eretz Canaan et eretz migurehem asher garu va. Okay. So,
Okay.
so it says also, and also, I guess.
Also, the Gam Hakimosis Brisitam. Okay.
I establish my covenant.
Okay. Hakimosi
with you.
Gam Hakimosis Brisitam, Lo System as Canaan. The Chayr Hakimosi, even though it's a past tense. Okay. I think it means Hakimosi is a past tense.
Is that to the
It means I set up my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan. Means I set up a covenant with them. Means not just a promise, it's even a covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan. It's even a stronger form than just promising them their land. Okay, but and also there's another point over here that he promised them to give them the land, not as far as we're not discussing releasing their descendants from Mitzrayim. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu had set up a covenant with them to give them the land, obviously, who is he going to give the land to? To their descendants. Obviously, it means that descendants are not going to remain in Egypt then. They're going to be released. Okay. Okay, this is what Rashi's going to point out over here. That's what Rashi's saying over here. Okay.
okay. Okay, so Rashi.
So didn't finish translating the
Oh,
passage.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay. So I established with them to give them land of Canaan, the land that they traveled in, which they did their traveling, I guess. Can gar also mean to live in, though? Garu?
Yes, yes. Not to get travel, doesn't mean to travel at all. Let's say something. The land of their sojourning where they sojourned.
Oh. Okay.
The land where they were sojourning, Ashegoruvo, where they sojourned. Why the double expression? Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Vaera.
That's very interesting.
Okay. Hold on a second. Fine. I don't know. I'm not sure why double expression over here. Okay, we'll see. Let's see the Rashi over here.
Okay, so it says V'gam hakimoti et briti v'gomer. So I established my covenant with them. Okay. V'gam kishe nir'eti lahem v'kel shaddai. V'gam, and also, let's see.
When I appear to them as the all-sufficing God.
Oh, okay. He savti v'ha'madati briti b'nei u'b'neihem.
B'nei u'b'neihem. L'seis lahem es eretz Canaan. You have to read it. You have to be read on.
Oh,
okay.
My Rashi doesn't have that.
What? To run on? Yeah, well, it should be. That's the way it should be.
Okay.
Next thing is it's running on from the thing. It's all
it's a run on. I see. He okay. I see what they did. Okay, so Latei Lahem at Eretz Canaan. I have some Rashi there too. Avraham Parashat.
It's all supposed to be. It's all one long.
Oh, it's one long Rashi. Oh, okay. Okay, he subdivides it different. Okay, so Rashi's saying Vigam, and so and also. I appeared to them. Oh, I appeared.
The all-sufficing God. I set up and maintained. I'm not sure what the double lashon. Latziv means to set up, and the hamid also means a similar thing. Brisi, my covenant between myself and them. What was that for? Loseis lahem es eretz Canaan. To give them. I made set up a covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan.
Okay.
Okay, where did HaKadosh Baruch Hu indeed do that? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying to Moshe, I set up a covenant with them, with the forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. I set up a covenant with them to give them the land of Mitzrayim. Okay, so now Rashi is going to explain where HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to quote chapter and verse where HaKadosh Baruch Hu had done this.
Oh, okay.
La'Avram.
Okay, La'Avraham b'Parashat Milah Ne'emar Ani Kel Shatkai v'Gomer v'Natati Lecha U'Lezarcha Acharecha Et Eretz Migurecha. Okay, then it says Yitzchak. Oh, to Yitzchak.
The first one was to Avraham Avinu. He said that in the section about the Milah, he said, it says, Ani kel shakai, beginning, and then he says, I'm going to give you and to your descendants after you the land of your sojourn, i.e., the land of Canaan. Okay, that's promised to Avram. LeYitzchak, to Yitzchak he said,
Okay.
You have it?
Yes. Ki lecha ulezarcha eten et kol haratzot ha'el.
Means doesn't mean nothing to do with God. Ha'el means these. Okay?
Oh.
To you and to your descendants, I will give all these lands, and I will establish, maintain the oath which I shenishbati la'Avram, that I swore to Avram.
Uh-huh.
That shvur which I swore to Avram Avinu, that was said Bekel Shakai. So therefore, even though there was no explicit revelation to Yitzchak as Bekel Shakai, but he said to Yitzchak, gosh, did promise Yitzchak, and he told him, I will establish I will confirm this oath which I swore to Abraham, that I'm going to give you these lands. And that oath was made to Abraham with the name Kel Shakai. Okay, that's number 2. And then to Yaakov.
Okay, well, Yaakov, Ani Kel Shakai, Perei, Urvei, Begomer, Viet Haaretz, Asher, Begomer. Arei She Nadarti Lahem, Velo Kimati, Velo Kimati.
Lo Kiyamti. Right? I didn't actually fulfill. To all 3 of them, to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made an oath or a covenant to the effect that he's going to give their descendants the land of Canaan, which is going to be Eretz Yisrael.
Mm-hmm.
And to all of them, I made this promise. I made an oath to them, but I haven't as yet, did not yet fulfill them. Did not fulfill that oath.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay, yes.
Okay. Next, the Pasuk. Pasuk Hey, Lou.
Okay, let's see. V'gam ani shamati es na'akas b'nei Yisrael asher mitzrayim ma'a v'dim osam va ezkor es brisi. So, and I also have heard the cry of the children of Israel that that Mitzrayim enslaves them, and I remember my covenant. Okay, now that's 5. I don't see a Rashi on.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, here's a Rashi. The Gamani, and also I, Kamo Shehit Tzavti Ve'madati Habris. So Kamo, it's like that Shahatzavti, that I have instituted and I have established my covenant. The covenant. Yesh alai lekayim. It is upon me to fulfill it. Okay. Lefichach, therefore, shemati es na'akat b'nei Yisrael. I have heard the cry of the children of Israel. No akim, that they are crying.
Right. Hanoakim, they're groaning.
That they're groaning.
Right.
Asher Mitzrayim ma'avidim osam.
What are they crying about? What are they groaning about? That Mitzrayim is enslaving them.
Enslaving, Evid, ma'avadim. The Egyptians are enslaving them.
What Rashi's pointing out over here is, it's not a description of who the Bnei Yisrael are, that the Mitzrayim are enslaving them. It's a describing what is the na'akah, what is the groan, the how should you say, what are the groans, maybe is that the right word? The cries.
My English says wail.
Well, it's not quite well. Cries. I call it cries. I've heard the cries of the children of Israel who are crying out that the Mitzrayim are enslaving them. Okay.
Okay. The ezkor oso habris. And I remembered.
I will remember means I will remember, or I have remembered actually.
And I have remembered that covenant. Ki bivris bain habesarim amarti lo. For at the covenant between the parts, I said to him, V'gam es hagoy asher ya'avodu dan anochi.
Dan anochi. Okay, and also
Anochi, it's not anochi.
Anochi, the emphasis on the nun, not on the chaf.
Anochi. And also the nation that enslaves them, I will judge.
Right. Very good. Okay, so he's saying, so basically, just in summation, what these three psukim are telling us, or what Akash Baruch in essence was telling Moshe. The first thing is he's saying, I have a promise to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov that appeared when Bekel Shakai, that I'm going to promise them that I'm going to release them. 1 second. Okay, let's start from the beginning. The first thing he says, I am Hashem, and I've made promises, and I'm going to make good my promises. You should know that my name is Hashem, and therefore I'm faithful to carry out my promises. That's number one. Number two, I appeared to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and I made promises to them, but even though I made the promises, I haven't yet fulfilled them. So these promises are going to be fulfilled. And in addition, I made a covenant with them, each one separately. I made a covenant to give them the land of Canaan. And therefore, obviously, I'm going to release their descendants from Egypt and going to bring them to the land of Canaan. And number three, I have heard their cries that they are crying out as a result of the servitude and the hard labor which the Egyptians are inflicting upon them. And I will remember, and I recall, I have remembered my covenant, this covenant that I'm going to release them, and that I'm going to, as Rashi says, I'm going to punish the Egyptians for doing this. So therefore, with all this preamble to this, therefore we say the next pasuk says, therefore tell them in Yisrael, you're assured you're going out soon. Okay, let's see the next pasuk. Pasuk Vav. Lochein.
Okay, lachein, therefore, and more le Yisrael ani Hashem, v'hotzeti etchem mitachat sivlot Mitzrayim, v'hitzalti etchem me'avodatam, v'ga'alti etchem bizroa netuya, u'v'shvatim gedolim. Oh, sounds a little bit like Pesach. Huh.
Right, because this is where you're going to have the four expressions.
Right. Which also means 4 cups of wine.
Right. Speak about this in a second, but okay.
Okay. Okay, so there is Rashi, looks like.
Let's translate first in the pasuk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, so it says, let's see, therefore, speak to, not say to, the children of Israel, I am Hashem, and I will take you out from under the hardships of Egypt, I guess. The burdens of Egypt, okay. And I will rescue you from their slavery, service, I guess it says here.
Yes.
Okay. And I will redeem you with the outstretched arm, okay, and with great, I guess, gedolim judgments.
Because this is the way Kodesh Baruch Hu is going to punish the Egyptians by, carrying out great judgments against them.
Okay. So let's see. There's a Rashi on Lachain, therefore, al pi ota Hashavua. It says, based on
that promise, that oath.
That oath. Oh, okay. Okay. Then, and more livnei Yisrael ani Hashem. Say to the children of Israel, I am Hashem. 1 second, my computer's low. Okay, there we go. So let's see. So he says, Hane'eman b'havtachati.
Right? Who is faithful in my promises. Again, Rashi's pointing out, why does Hashem repeat this? It's Ani Hashem. Because he wants to point out that he's reassuring the people, I am faithful to carry out my promises. I am Hashem, and therefore, this following what I'm going to do to you, you can be assured is going to happen.
Okay. Next, Rashi's go. The hotzeti etchem. I will take you out. Okay. Ki chen hivtachtiv v'acharei chen yetzu b'rechush gadol. Okay, because so I promised him.
Meaning Avram Avinu.
Okay. And after Cain, so they go out with a great property, I guess. Rechush is property, or
1 second. No, hold it.
Rechush.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Afterwards, they will leave with great wealth. So
Oh, wealth. Rechush is wealth?
Rechush is wealth.
Oh, okay. I thought it was property.
Property, literally means property. But it means in this sense, Rechush Gadol, right, is in the sense of a lot of property, great property. Which
Great wealth. Okay, makes sense. Okay. And then one more Rashi, let's see. It says, Sivlot Mitzrayim, the burdens of Egypt, all Masa Mitzrayim. So the yoke of Masa is
the burden of Egypt.
no, the burden of Egypt. Okay.
So you see, as Rashi's saying, the burden is not the problem. The burden is the carrying the burden, right? The hardship, of bearing the burden. That's the problem. I'm going to save you. So I'm going to take you out from beneath the burdens of Mitzrayim. Means I'm going to save you from that hardship. You will be relieved of that hardship.
Okay.
Okay. By the way, so it's interesting. We actually, as you correctly noticed, Mayor, that these from this pasuk and the next following pasuk, we learn that there were 4 expressions of redemption, for which representative of that, in words, to commemorate that, these 4 expressions, we drink 4 cups of wine. Now, it's interesting that the Rishonim, the Mordechai asked an interesting question. Why dafka wine? Why dafka wine? Have 4, we want to remember it's 4 expressions of, or 4 elements of redemption. So why have 4 cups of wine? To have 4 pieces of matzah or 4 pieces of korban pesach? Why the need of wine, which otherwise would not play a role in the Seder Bechlal? There's no, the Torah never mentions anything about drinking wine at the Seder. So the Netziv wants to explain that the idea is, since these were not just 4 expressions, as we're going to see, there were 4 stages. Okay, there were 4 stages of redemption. Because if you go back to the Brisbane Absorim, the covenant between the parts, the Pasuk says that your descendants are going to be they're going to be strangers in a land which is not theirs. Va'avodum, and they're going to enslave them. Ve'inuosam, and they're going to they're going to afflict them. They're going to impose hard labor upon them for 400 years. And that's what the next pasuk says afterwards. They're going to go out with great wealth. So upon him, the Tziv and the Maharal also explains this in this way. There was three elements of the exile in Egypt. They were Gerim, they were foreigners. Afterwards, they became servants, they were actually enslaved, which meant that they had a slave status. They were second-class citizens. And the third stage was actually they were enforced with hard labor. So similarly, when they went out, in a reverse order, they came out in different stages. The initial stage was that the hard labor stopped. And Maharal explains I don't know where his source for it is, but Maharal says as soon as the plague started, the hard labor ended. So that was the first stage. That was the first stage. And then afterwards, during the Maccas, the slavery stopped. Means they were no longer had the status of slaves. Certain, it's not servitude, but that slave status ended. That was the second stage of the redemption. And the third stage of the redemption was that they actually went out of Egypt. And then the next pasuk says that was the culmination of being released from the Egyptian exile, was that we should now become the chosen people, accepting the Torah at Har Sinai. That was the fourth stage. And that's the thing. We'll look at this in Milah. So says the Netziv, if a person, let's say they would be asked to have 4 pieces of matzah. When a person eats 1 piece of matzah and then he eats a second piece of matzah, the second one doesn't elevate him more than the first. Doesn't uplift him or make him feel any higher spirits at all. On the contrary, the more he eats, probably the fuller he feels, and less desire he has to eat more. So therefore, Chazal said, rather give them cups of wine, because when a person drinks 1 cup of wine, he feels elevated, uplifted to a certain degree. Then he drinks a second cup of wine, that uplifts him even more. And so on the third and the fourth. So the idea was that each we dafki drink wine, because wine has that property of uplifting and raising a person's spirits.
Yes.
Therefore, excuse the pun on the word spirits, but that's the idea. That's why dafka we have 4 cups of wine, and that's these 4 cups of wine are representative of the 4 stages of redemption, not just expressions of redemption. In fact, the Lashon of the Yerushalmi is that there were actually 4 stages of redemption. Okay, let's go on to pasuk Zion. So no Russian Zion, Ches, Zion and Ches. Lou.
Okay, v'lakachti eschem li le'am v'hayisi lachem lelokim v'datem ki ani Hashem Elokechem hamotzi eschem mitachas sivlos Mitzrayim. Okay, so and I will take you to me for a people, and I will be for you God, and you shall know that I, Hashem, your God, takes you out.
Who's taking you out?
Is taking you out.
He's the one. He's the one who's taking you out from
under the burdens of Egypt. Okay. V'hevesi eschem el haaretz asher nasati es yadi lases osa la'avraham liyitzchak u'liyaakov v'nasati osa lachem mo rasha ani Hashem. And I will bring you to the land that
literally means I have raised my hand.
I have raised my hand to give
it
to Abraham.
To give it to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov.
To Yitzchak and to Yaakov. And I will give it to them, to you, a heritage. I am Hashem.
As a heritage.
Okay, so on the phrase Nasati es yadi, I have raised my hand. Harimo siha lehi shava bechis e. I have raised it to swear by my throne.
Right. Means the term nososis yadi is how should I say it? It's not just an anthropomorphism, but it's a phrase to represent that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made an oath. The same way as when a person makes an oath, he raises his hand in oath when he wants to make an oath. So too, HaKadosh Baruch Hu also in that respect is saying, I have raised my hand to make an oath to you that I'm going to release you from the land of Mitzrayim.
So I'm wondering why we see all of these oaths, all these, I swear, an oath. We're supposed to emulate Hashem. Hashem is supposed to set a good example for us so that we can emulate him. We're not supposed to swear. We're not supposed to take oaths. It's a bad thing. So why is Hashem setting a bad example for us?
I hear what you're saying. I don't know, have a full answer, but it could be a difference whether somebody who knows that he's fully capable of carrying out the promise, the oath which he's making, okay, then he's in a different position for somebody who is not 100% sure that he can. Kosh Baruch Hu is in a position that he can make an oath because he knows 100% that he can carry that out. But we are not in such a position. Therefore, we say we're advised not to make oaths because we can never be certain that we will be able to fulfill the oath.
That's the reason?
That's what's mashma. From the psukim later on in Parshas Kiseitse, I don't have it right here in front of me right now, but that's what's mashma. And that, I mean, actually, it's also based in the pasuk in Koheles. Right? Better you don't make an oath, rather you make an oath and not end up not paying, not fulfilling the oath. So it's mashma from there. The idea is the disapproval about making oaths is the idea is because you may not be certain that you'll be able to fulfill the oath. The person is in a situation that maybe he feels he is certain to, then depending what the situation is, he may be allowed to make an oath.
I see.
Okay, we'll stop here and we've got up to pasuk
Tet. Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, good. We're making progress.
Thank you, Rabbi. Have a great day.
Okay. Have a good day, Rabbi. Okay.
Have a great day, guys.
Okay, be well. Take care.